Hello my friends, and welcome back to Three-Legged Dog Yoga. First of all, to all those that are new subscribers, thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. This class today is designed for beginners, so anyone who hasn't really done any yoga before, this one is for you. We don't need any props, no big movements, anything like that. We're just going to go over some of the basics and really give you a lot of cues so you know how to safely get into these postures. If you haven't done yoga before, please do so at your own risk. Make sure that if you have any injuries or anything like that, you've checked with your doctor and you've been cleared to participate in yoga. And we'll see, last time I shot with Zeus here, it didn't work out so well, but let's see how it goes today. So just grab your mats and get into something comfy and let's get started. Alrighty, my friends, today we're gonna start in easy pose. Cross the legs, press the sit bones into the floor, and the shoulders are rolled back. Crown of the head stays lifted, and we're keeping a nice tall spine here. Starting to just turn inwards. Let's drop our heads. Start rolling out the neck side to side. Just going one way and the other. Very gentle movements. Trying to stay with the breath. Keeping that spine nice and tall. And then you're welcome to start going all the way around. So keeping the movement nice and gentle. Just very gently looking up, keeping it nice and slow. I'll do one more in this direction. And when we come down with our chin down, we'll pause. And then we'll switch, go the other way. So same thing. Again, keeping that spine nice and tall here. We always want to keep a nice straight back as we sit in these seated postures. One more rotation this way. And then pausing through center. Just bring the head back up to neutral. Awesome. Let's place the hand beside our right sit bones. Press gently into the floor. Take a big inhale and lift that left arm up. And just gently sweep that arm over the head. Coming into a very gentle side stretch on the left side. Really drawing those ribs up to the ceiling. Keeping that left sit bone pressing into the floor and just gently reaching with that left hand. Taking a big breath in, we'll drop the left hand down. Exhale. And then on the next inhale, raise that right arm and we'll switch sides. So gently pressing into that left hand, keeping that right shoulder rolled up and back as we press down with that right sit bone. And we reach the right ribs up to the ceiling. Finding a nice gentle spot to gaze. Keeping the neck neutral. And then inhale brings us back up through center and release the hands. Let's start moving through some breath work here. So take a big inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, palms touch. And then exhale, spin the palms, bring the arms all the way down. And again, big inhale, look up, touch the hands. Exhale as we reach the hands down to the floor. We'll do two more like that. Big inhale as we reach up with the breath. Exhale down. And last one, inhale, come up. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Awesome. And let's roll over to hands and knees and come into tabletop. So let's tuck our toes behind us. Press firmly into the mat with the hands. And we'll check that our hips are over our knees and our shoulders are over our wrists. Pressing out through the shoulders. Let's check in with that lower back. Make sure we're not arching it and we're not rolling it upwards. Keeping a nice length in that spine. So the crown of the head still reaches forward. And let's move through some cat-cows here. So on the inhale, we'll drop the belly down, arch the back, look up. And on the exhale, we'll draw our belly into our spine and then round out the whole upper back. Inhale, drop the belly, round it up. And then exhale, draw the belly in, gaze towards the navel. We'll do two more like that. Inhale, round it out, look up. Exhale, belly to spine, gaze comes to the navel. And last one, big inhale, arch the back, look up. And exhale, round it all out. Awesome. Coming back to neutral here. let's reach out with that right heel. Might need to shuffle a little up on your mat here and keep that heel pressing out towards the back wall. And this is just getting us set up for our downward facing dog. Just kind of introducing the motion to the legs. And then on the inhale, let's raise that right heel to the sky, squeeze into the glutes, and keep the hips nice and square here. So one thing in yoga we really like doing is keeping hips square. Not always, but you'll hear that cue a lot in class. Pressing through the shoulders here, we're breathing. And then let's drop that knee down. And we'll switch sides. So reach that left foot out behind you, heels pressing down towards the floor. Pressing up through the shoulders. Let's inhale that left foot up to the ceiling, keeping the hips square, pressing through the shoulders. Try to keep a nice neutral spine, so we're still reaching forward with the crown of that head. Breathing here, and then exhaling, releasing that knee back down to the floor. So let's come into our first downward facing dog. So place the hands on the mat just a little bit ahead of you. We're going to start pressing into the feet and lifting the hips towards the ceiling. So keep a nice bend in the knees to start. Don't need to reach the heels to the floor. You can start bending through the knees if you'd like. And we're really going to press out through our hands, keeping a little bit of space underneath the palm, gripping into the mat with the fingers, and then reaching away with the shoulders, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, setting the hips up nice and high, and keeping a nice bend in those knees, creating a nice V shape with the body. Taking a nice deep breath. And then we'll gaze towards the front of the mat, drop the knees to the floor, untuck the toes, and then sink the hips back for child's pose. If this is uncomfortable, you can always bring the knees a little bit closer together, whatever feels good for the body, just relaxing down here. So the whole body is sinking towards the mat. We're relaxing the hands and the head down. And we're just breathing here. This is a nice posture to come into. If you're a little tired during yoga class, you can always take a break in child's pose. Catching the breath. And then gaze forward to the hands. Let's press back up through tabletop. Tuck the toes. And then we'll just shift our hips over to one side, coming into seated. And let's stretch the legs in front of us. We're going to check in here with our pelvic bone. Make sure it's sitting up nice and tall. We're going to keep a nice flat lower back as we sit here in staff pose in Dandasana. So sitting up nice and tall, you can keep a little bend in the knees, shoulders roll up and back, and the crown of the head stays lifted as if there's a string pulling our spine up nice and tall here. Hands can gently rest to your side. And then we can add a fold here, bend into the knees, and start reaching that belly towards the thigh. Keeping a nice generous bend in the knees. It's always nice to start here and see what your range of motion is as you start on your yoga journey. As we reach here, we're keeping a nice tall spine, never rounding into the back. And just stay wherever is comfortable for you. And as we breathe here, you can always inhale to lift and then exhale to come into it just a little bit deeper, finding what's called your edge. Just working with that. And then a big inhale takes us back up to seated. Scooch the hips forward on your mat, and then we're just going to roll back gently, coming down to our backs. Taking an inhale, drawing those knees towards the chest. Let's just start rocking gently side to side here, just giving the lower back a bit of a massage. Inviting a bit of movement into this, maybe drawing little circles, the sky on the ceiling, one way, and then going the other way. And then finding some stillness, maybe widening the legs a bit, drawing the knees a bit closer to the chest, and then gently rocking once again. And then finding some stillness. Let's reach our arms out wide beside us, touching the toes down if you need. Shuffle the hips over to the left side, and then draw the knees across the body for our first twist. So we want to really draw the left hip and the right shoulder away from each other, and the left shoulder is reaching down towards the floor. You might need to play with how high or how low the knees are. Find your range of motion to find your edge. Find something that's comfortable for you here. And if you need a little extra prop under the knees because it just feels a little uncomfortable, just place your right arm underneath there. And just breathe here, keeping the head up to the ceiling for now. Nice gentle gaze. A gentle breathing, making sure we're keeping a nice full breath in and full breath out. No struggling here. Pressing that right palm back into the floor. Shuffle the hips through center, and then we'll scooch the hips over to the right side and switch sides. So take an inhale, reach the knees up towards the chest, and then over to the left side. Again, maybe playing around with where those knees are and placing that left hand underneath the knees if we need a bit of extra support. That right shoulder is drawing down towards the floor. Feeling the shoulder, the right shoulder and the right hip really pulling away from each other here. Finding that beautiful twist. And then we'll place the palms of the hands back down, shuffle the hips back through center, and place the soles of the feet on the floor. So keeping the feet about hips distance, let's inhale that right leg up to the sky and then cross it over the left. So this might be enough for you, and if it is, stay here. It's a nice gentle hip opener. If you'd like to just bring it a little bit deeper, you can inhale that left leg up and then reach for behind the thigh. And then just relaxing into this posture. So just letting that thigh find the hands, just gently adding some resistance. Shoulders are staying nice and relaxed. And we're breathing. And on the exhale, drop that left foot down, find the right foot to meet it, and we'll switch sides. So on the inhale, let's press into that right foot, lift the left up high to the sky, cross it over the right. And then same thing here. If this is enough, stay here. And if you'd like to add on a little bit, then on the inhale, on your next inhale, just draw that right knee towards the chest and catch the back of the thigh with the hands. Just gently letting that right leg fall into the hands, adding just a gentle bit of resistance with the hands. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. And then on the exhale, dropping the feet down. Let's place our right arm underneath our head, roll over to the right side. Place the left hand on the mat, and then we'll gently press through that left hand, come all the way up through seated. And just coming into your version of easy pose, whatever that might look like. And if you had one leg in front before, let's just switch that up. Keep the balance in the body. And we'll close our practice today with one big sigh. So take a big inhale in, and then exhale. Let it all out. That is all for today's practice. I hope you learned a few things, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.